Right, there are two gimbals there. Look pretty boring, but actually it can do this and this. And now it starts tracking. There's not even a phone on it. There's no registration, no activation. It's just straight out of the box factory setup, and it simply do that. And it's not from DJI. No, DJI just released that, oh, you got an AI tracking, whatever. But no, this is from a brand called Hohem. And I have made a video about Hohem gimbal back in the days, years ago. And I didn't even know that apparently they have done this for like 4 or 5 years already. So they have been improved and improved until now. So it's really good. You can say they have a track record. It just go round and round. Round and round. Then again, yeah. And it just stopped. Now this video is not sponsored by Hohem, but by Storyblocks. One login for unlimited royalty-free stock video, animation, photos and music. Well, I have mentioned before that every time I talk about gimbal, there is something really special. Or else I won't talk about gimbal, because actually gimbal are quite boring to me. They're just a gimbal that you put a camera or a phone on top and then it stabilizes your camera or phone. What else? What else do you need? So that's why what was the last big idea the gimbal brand thought of before? Oh, put an LED on top for filming. These two are really special, but I mean, if you don't use this kind of subject tracking, this doesn't really apply to you. You can use any other gimbal on the market really, but if you do, these are great. But you may think, oh well, gimbal got this subject tracking for ages. What's so special about these two? What's special about these two is that you don't need to use their own phone app. I mean, back then you need to use their phone app, and we all know that we love their phone app. Oh, so exciting when you go to an app store, like you search for their name. There's like 5 of them. Which one do I need? Tons of these kind of Bluetooth pairing and all that. And then we all know that they make great video quality, do we? I mean, well, obviously they're crap. So it is great that you don't need to use the app anymore. This is just a camera. There's no phone app or whatever. There's not even a phone on it. There's nothing on it, and then it's tracking me. But maybe you say that, hang on, Osmo Pocket do subject tracking without phone app as well. What's so special? But if you want to use a camera, it's totally different to a Pocket, Osmo Pocket. And if you want to use a phone gimbal that you want to shoot with a phone, not an Osmo Pocket, you want to shoot into a phone. Maybe you want to do Instagram Live. How do you do Instagram Live on Osmo Pocket? But this, Instagram Live on it, and it happily track you with whatever app you want to use. Now you use this camera, little camera to track. So you can imagine there is actually some parallax error. And on top of that, it might not be the framing that you want. So when it starts tracking, it might not be the framing that you want. There's so many headroom here. So much, not many. But there's 2 ways you can fix this. You can use the gimbal to pause the tracking and then move to the framing that you want. Or you use this is reframe, and then you move to the framing that you want, even on the side, on one side, and then try again. And it will keep this framing for you. Simple as that. You can also recalibrate it, so when it starts tracking, you always at the same position inside that frame. When I saw this at CES this year, I realized this might be something I have been looking for. Because when I shoot this kind of video with Kai, I usually have 3 cameras set up, one showing the whole scene, and each of us got a close-up zoom-in camera. The problem is we don't have anyone to move the camera for us, and obviously we move, so anytime we move a little bit more, I can't use the close-up camera. It's fine most of the time, I just use the wide-angle camera, but sometimes like here, I would like to have a close-up of Kai's face. Actually, even my close-up camera isn't usable, which just make it not as interesting, and what's the point of setting up 3 cameras? Basically, every time when I'm in front of the camera will be on a tripod and it would be just a little bit static. There were solutions for a camera gimbal to track using a mobile phone, but then it's a lot of setup involving a phone app, a Bluetooth pairing, and then with a phone app, it's just one more thing to go wrong. What if the app crashed? It used up battery on the phone, and then some random phone call for some bank loan or something. But with this, I can have the camera zoom into the face, close-up shot, and the gimbal will just track the face whenever me or Kai stand up or anything, or move around. But it's not all perfect magic land, especially the MT2, the camera gimbal. For some reason, the start tracking gesture always worked, but somehow it just struggled with the stop tracking gesture. As you can see, comparing the two, the mobile phone gimbal stopped tracking immediately, but not the camera gimbal. And a lot of time it just worked better with my left hand doing the stop tracking gesture. I don't know, is it the camera lens blocking the tracking camera? The reframe gesture especially fitly with both gimbal. But I figured out if I keep adjusting my reframe gesture, it will work. So yeah, most importantly, they do work. Or you can simply use the M7 remote. This is just great. It's not like a phone app, you have to you have to launch the app and connect the Bluetooth and all those annoying things. Like first, I thought this tracking seems a little bit too sensitive to me, because if I'm just talking to you, sitting still here, it's still just a little bit of movement. So at first, when I'm writing my script, I was going to talk about this. I think it should have some kind of adjustment for the sensitivity. But after I actually use it in one of the upcoming videos, and I realized that actually give you quite smooth movement, quite live-like movement. Now I think the difference is that actually, because if you're going to use this tracking feature, you are going to move around in front of the camera. If I'm just sitting here and talking to the camera, I don't really need this tracking movement. So it kind of makes sense that it just doesn't shoot when I'm just sitting here talking to you. And to test it a little bit more, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the sponsor of this video, Storyblocks. It's really simple. It's just one website, one subscription, give you stock video, stock photo, effects, animation, stock music, sound effects. Just one account give you all that. Who want to manage like 5 different login, 5 different accounts in 5 different websites just for all those video and photo? And it can get annoying, it can get expensive as well. But with Storyblocks, it's just one login, one website, everything unlimited download, royalty free. So check it out if you want to try it. Use the QR code here or with the link in the description down below to sign up. And it is the best way to support this channel. So thank you very much. So let's take a look at the gimbal itself. Let's start with this one. I think for most of my followers will be more interested in the camera gimbal. But actually, this actually works for camera, mobile phone, and action camera, 3 in 1. Payload is 1.2 kilogram. So even though I'm using a S1R Mark II for mirrorless camera, this is actually quite a heavy camera. But this is totally fine. Still got room to spare for the payload. Yeah. So in here, you can see this is the tracking camera, almost like a webcam. Do more than webcam, this is tracking. So you can take this off, like so, attach with magnetic. Just like most gimbal these days that it should have is this lock. Like you can lock every single access. I have to retract this. Lock it up like this, so when you carry it around, it won't flap about. And also, when you are going to balance it, you can balance each axis one at a time. And on here, there are two USB-C ports, one for controlling your camera, for controlling compatible camera, and one for charging your camera as well. You can also change it to vertical pretty easily, just like that. What's the other feature? Honestly, I don't really care all that much because I don't usually use gimbal, and when I use it, I really just use the really simple, the most basic feature. But it has what a gimbal should have. One thing really important to me is that it got a screen. I mean, I hate those gimbals that only got like some LED on it that flashing 2 times for the panning mode and 3 times for all lock mode or something like that. This got a screen. It just shows you what mode it is in. Joystick, it got record button and zoom button for compatible camera, and it got a big wheel that you can use for various features, AB point, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just what a gimbal should have these days. One thing though still annoys me a lot is this. And this. Little things like these, DJI still do much better, honestly. But other than that, the whole gimbal generally really well made. Moving on to this is M7. Have I mentioned this is MT2? This is for mobile phone. As you can see, I have my mobile phone on it, and it also support my iPhone 12 mini, such an old camera. So this, you can also lock every axis, like so. This still have all the buttons like the other, the bigger one. Oh, of course, it got this tracking cam on top. This got a new improvement, is that you have to press down 2 buttons on the side to remove it. So you won't like bump it to somewhere and then you lost this AI tracking camera thing. Also, that means the tracking camera, you can flip it to shoot in front. Oh, by the way, this is a LED light as well. You can RGB and color balance LED light. And here you can extend it for selfie, color touchscreen. So this is even more simple to set up various features and settings, especially if you are going to set up something like time-lapse, that kind of more complicated setting. And of course, you've got this screen. This video feed is from the tracking camera, not from your phone, but yeah, you can see how it works. And this is a remote control with a touch screen. Yeah, I mean, this is quite new. The M7 is quite new. This is the first one with a touch screen remote control. And I think you can imagine, like next time, maybe the MT3, that you will see that screen remote control on here. And because of this touch screen, you can track almost anything, especially those can't do an OK gesture to start the tracking to them. And this is still unique to Hohem. The Hohem MT2 was released on 2023. It's a shame that I've only learned about them now. I could have helped make more people aware of them way before DJI basically claimed all the credit of a gimbal that tracks without app. You know, now everyone will think that DJI invented that. I like to support the original, also it's cheaper than DJI. This one though is more expensive, but it has a touchscreen remote. This is more of a comparable model. So this is Hohem MT2 and M7. What do you think? Do you use subject tracking on gimbals? What do you think of this tracking without app capability? useful or gimmick? Let us know in the comment section.